Good evening. Almost 7 decades have gone since Europe witnessed last huge war. We have been enjoying years of peace, prosperity, and freedom, thinking that the most serious threat we face is that we might miss another VTM session because of the tons of snow. Most of the people think that they are more secure than ever before. This is not true. We do not live in a bubble. We are far less safe than we realize, and the time for us to acknowledge that has come. No longer you and I have to worry about German tanks storming our street, Russian soldiers occupying our factories and schools, or even Iranian bombs destroying our city. No, the threats were different. This new outfit makes them less visible, less predictable, and more difficult to tackle. Unlike in times of Napoleon or Caesar, the target is not a state. The target is a human life. Now let me clarify what I mean by that. First and foremost, terrorism. I know you all heard and read a lot about terrorism lately, but I want you to realize that it goes beyond 9/11. That terrorism is not something abstract, intangible, or hypothetical. There was nothing hypothetical for 200 sons and daughters in Trem in Madrid in 2004. There was nothing hypothetical for 80 brothers and sisters who took a bus in London in 2005. There was nothing hypothetical for 160 brothers and sisters who had a coffee in Mumbai in 2011. And there was nothing hypothetical for 77 young friends and colleagues in Oslo in 2011. Terrorism is real, and often it comes from inside. Even 9/11 hijackers were living in Germany and trained in Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, other contemporary threats were even less traditional in nature. So-called social threats like excessive migration or transnational crime. Transnational crime accounts for $870 billion every year, 1.5% of global GDP, or 4 times larger than GDP of the Czech Republic. In other words, those who sell arms to extremists and terrorists, those who distribute cocaine and heroin, and those who trade living people for money make 4 times larger profit every year than the whole output of the Czech Republic. The third category of threats is environmental. Do you know how many people on Earth still lives in extreme poverty, meaning with 2 or less dollars a day? 1.5 billion people. 1.5 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States has 350,000 million citizens. Europe has some 500 million. Even if we put the United States and Europe together, they still constitute only a half of people who lives for less than $2 every day. And this extreme poverty often leads to spread of infectious diseases, AIDS or cholera or else. Let me give you an eloquent example. You all remember horror images of Haiti, of earthquake in Haiti in 2010. 300,000 people died and another 1 million lost their homes. In a month following this tragedy, a cholera came and killed another tens of thousands in already torn out and impoverished country. So, if we, all who are here, concede that we do not live in a bubble, that we are far less safe then we realize then we must inevitably come to a conclusion that we must not resign for our security. Luckily, the threats make us a target, but also they give us a chance to be a part of the solution. For the first time in history, an ordinary citizen like you and like me can be part of the solution and can save or protect your life. And preserving our way of life, our families, securing our future does not anymore start in safeguarding our boundaries. We could not stop a tank, but by keeping our eyes open, we can contribute to preventing terrorism. We could not destroy an aircraft, but by upholding rules, we can weaken international criminal organizations. We could not stop a genocide, but by donating at least a small amount of money to development aid organizations, we can help tackle poverty. Of course,